Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and if you've just joined us, welcome in. You've come into an absolute banger. It is the new buffed Hillbilly. It is Bubba Summer for Team Ariandel, taking on the survivors of Team Aeternum. And for this match, I have a new caster with me, Prion. Prion, welcome in.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm really excited to be here to see this first match in DBDLeague of the new buffed Hillbilly. We can already see Bubbo, a storied Hillbilly player looking for his first chase. And he's got engravings and Thompson's mix, so that's the speed and recovery here, as he's able to find a chase here onto Daimao on the bottom side of the map. How is this going to go, Carrie? This first chase is so important.
It is, and I'm just excited to see how they play all this. So he gets the recovery now off the pallet. He decides to leave it because he's going back in towards his corrupted zone. Engravings and the overdrive is just so fast now. I think it's something like in the 300% speed. He goes so quickly around the map, and I'm glad you touched on the add-ons because that's something we're going to see change a lot. In DBDL, at the moment, low pro chains and the grease throttle are banned, and we've got our first down from Bubbo onto Dunder.
Yeah, first down onto Dunder. He's able to zone him out at that tile with the overdrive and the cooldown add-on, keeping him away from the pallet and landing that short curve around the pile of tires. So first hook there, going to be coming on to Dunder, and now we're just going to see the insane mobility of the new Hillbilly with the engravings. He's going to be able to go anywhere he wants and then back to the hook as he chooses to start another chase onto Silhe. Barely gets that pallet drop there at the cars, and he's actually pathing back towards the hook.
He is, and it could be a little dangerous here if we get the slug down next to the hook, because with these chainsaws now, sometimes you can't prevent Billy from curving you. Traditionally, in competitive Dead by Daylight, we wouldn't see a lot of Billy curves, but we would see a lot of dodges, and Silhe doesn't mind about the new Billy buff. He's still dodging. Now, does he go for the grab, or does he keep the chainsaw revved? He keeps it revved, which was the correct option, as Silhe jumps out into him. But yes, as I was saying, normally you wouldn't really see curve attempts made by Billies. You'd see basically low pro chains, getting M1 hits, and getting hits with the low pro through pallets. Now, if you don't pre-drop with overdrive, and especially with engravings, there's a really big chance that Billy is going to flick around the car and curve you.
Yeah, especially with the new overdrive. It is incredibly difficult to dodge one of these overdrive chainsaws, as we saw Silhe barely dodge one there at that tile in the corner. That is really difficult to do, as he's going to zoom back to the hook. Overdrive kicks in. He's going faster than you can even control, and he looks like he's just going to patrol these gens around Silhe's hook. No, he can go anywhere he wants with this speed.
I still can't get over how fast the speed is. He's just zooming across the map. No time at all. He's back towards the hook. And this is really interesting to see how it's going to play out. And I've got to say, Prion, at the moment we've got 2 stages. Still 5 generators remaining. Yes, they'll have a lot of progress on them, but there's still 5 up with 2 stages, and Silhe is pretty close to being on that second stage. We could get a first curve of the game. No, he decides to go back towards the hook, wants to ensure second stage, because remember, Billy is very, very good at camping the hook, because it's readily available.
Yeah, and it's so valuable for him to go back and forth from the hook with overdrive here, because he's so fast now that survivors have to respect him coming to their gen.
Oh, and he barely
misses that curve.
Yeah, typically you'd never see a Billy miss that curve. It's a very basic one around a fundamental car loop, but because of the overdrive, he goes way too wide, doesn't control it, and Daimao escapes their life still. And Billy leaving that chase there and going back towards the hook.
Yeah, I think he might have actually gotten that curve if he wasn't using engravings because of the new speed. But chase is going to continue here on Silhe at this filler pallet. And he's not dropping the pallet just yet. Does he have a plan here? No, he's going to go down to the M1 at the pallet. Now, is there a survivor nearby to help him get out of this? Pickup is going to come through, and Silhe is going to be going back up on the hook.
I'm just wondering why he kind of greeted that pallet so much. Maybe just buying a little bit more time. But because there's no low pro, right, there's not a bigger penalty for dropping a pallet in a Billy's face. And it can mean for a difficult M1 mind game, but definitely better. They get a chainsaw to whack straight in the back. Daimao goes straight down as Billy curves around the corner and slices him in half. We can't see a thing with that blue overdrive boost coming on. but Bubbo is just applying pressure all over the map.
Yeah, and that's just what happens if you don't respect the new overdrive. Like, old Billy would not have gotten that hit. He would have gotten spun or line of sight blocked, but Daimao just goes down to the overdrive in the open there. Just great chainsaws coming in from Bubbo. You can tell he's been grinding the new Billy ever since it was changed.
Yeah, I think that's a really good important point to touch on. One of the big things with this new Billy is before, because Billy's just base speed was so slow, even with an extra engraving, if he back revved you from a fair distance away, you'd be able to just react and dodge in time. Now Billy is so fast, if Billy preemptively guesses the direction you're going to go down. You don't have that kind of reaction distance and time to dodge out of the way. You just got to preemptively guess. It can be really difficult for the survivors, and that's what we saw with Daimo there by that locker.
Yeah, and Silhei died so early here that the survivors are going to be in a really bad spot trying to get any more gens done. And I think that's why you saw the fast pull come in on Daimao. Survivors know they have to get something here. They have to make a high-risk, high-reward play, have a great chase. That's the only way they're going to get more gen progress here with only 3 alive.
And the questions now that's coming to my mind, Prion, is what is a good result here against this new Billy with a Doom engraving? I can't remember what the new engraving is called. It's an engraving. What would a good result look like? Would they be happy with just getting 5 gens done, even if it's a 4K?
I mean, at this point, with only 3 survivors alive, still a pain res, pop on every hook, survivors injured. I'm thinking they're probably hoping for a 4K too. Like, yeah. I mean, basement hook, second hook there on a Dunder, and what we've already seen is Billy's speed is going to allow him to just go back and forth across the map. He's going to be able to pop that gen at the top of the map and then get back to Shack before Daimao can even get out of the basement here, even with this sprint burst.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The concept of these guys getting 3 more gens done, that's tricky. I can't really see them doing that either. But just thinking about at the start of the game, if that's what they would have liked. It's difficult to see what is happening here in this spectator with the overdrive on. It's just blue flames everywhere. But I guess that's all the survivors see across the map. Blue flames charging at them from every direction. Nice looping here to extend the loop for Karma. And now we're going to see our first curve round this tile. Gets it right and reads the wide dodge. That wasn't the Billy over adjusting. They read that wide dodge. Beautiful play from Bubbo.
Yeah, great curve there from Bubbo, and I think that's the first real curve of the winter circuit with the new Billy. Karma's going to go up on the hook. And I mean, some people might be thinking that Karma played that pallet badly, greeted it too hard. But when you have an early death like this and you still have 3 gens remaining, you have to start greeting those pallets, making the risky plays, because that's the only way for survivors to get their momentum back.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to come up with a big play here, otherwise they really are going to go down. Unfortunately, Bubbo was there perfectly to capitalize, read the wide dodge because they greeted it. They had to kind of go for a 50-50. He read it beautifully. No chance for the survivors to dodge this time with the engravings. And now he's looking to close this one out. This should just be a basic M1 hit, unless Thunder can get off and presumably use balance landing. They do have balance, and Bubbo whiffs at it. He got a little bit stuck there as he was trying to go down the hole, whiffs at the balance, and he's going to set up for another curve. No, uses his recovery out to just to break the pallet and should be able to zone him down. If he whiffs his M2, he should be able to get an M1.
Yeah, Dunder is going to go to the edge map Z-wall here. It's all he's going to have left. I know this is the best tile in the game. He actually gets 2 vaults on it, so Dunder playing this Z-wall really well. He's eventually going to go down in the corner. Pretty good time bought there, but I mean, after making that nice play at main, he didn't have any resources left, but I'm pretty sure all pain reses have been used, so really good gen progress coming out here from the survivors. They might actually be able to salvage a result here.
Yeah, I mean, unless Bubba comes directly to this one, because he can definitely make it with his new speed, and pop that gen, then this one's gonna get popped as well. And what is beautiful there from Karma is they didn't finish the gen to miss-sell information to Bubbo. If they had popped that gen, Bubbo would have come straight here and used the Pop Goes the Weasel on this gen. I know I'm saying pop twice, sorry for the confusion there. But he didn't complete that generator, so Bubbo went to the wrong one, which means they can, well, hopefully would have got 2 generators done.
Yeah, that was definitely a great play there from the survivors, but unfortunately Bubbo did use his pop on that bus gen. So now Karma was going to be shadowing Daimao to try to get back on that bus gen immediately and hope that a great chase happens at the Shack, but no, Bubbo knows. He knows what's going on here. He knows that Karma was shadowing, trying to get back on the gen, so he's going to just take the best chase for him to make sure that that bus gem doesn't pop here in the corner.
Yeah, he knows what's going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up flicking back once he's breaking the pallet to go and make sure they're not working on it, because 4 gens done would be a pretty decent result given the start these guys had. Oh, and I think, yes, the entity there's no more regression events allowed on that generator. He's been popped, kicked, and pain rest so many times, he's actually not allowed to damage it anymore. I don't know if the survivors know that, though. I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah, that's actually really surprising given that, okay, so Daimao is going to go down here at the bus, but that's a really surprising regression event kick-in, because usually we've only been seeing those so far happen when Eruption is in play and a killer continually applies Eruption on a generator. But with just Pain Res and Pop, that gem has been hit so many times that the spikes are active without him kicking the gen. So for all of you at home that haven't seen it yet, that is what it means for a gen to be blocked. Smash hit going to come in on this filler pallet. But Karma is the last survivor standing. It's only a matter of time, and he's gonna go down to the overdrive. Another nice kind of half curve from Bubbo around the filler pallet, and I think we're just seeing new Billy. He's got an incredible ability to just catch survivors in the open.
Yeah, I mean, this new Billy, I've got to say, is an absolute joy to watch. I love seeing the high aggression. I love seeing the new Billies go for curves. Traditionally, the games would tend to be just a standard 2k6, camper survivor on all score, stand in front of the hook with a chainsaw, and then maybe get a nowhere down. Now it's just pure high aggression. Yes, it was a very dominating performance from the Billy. Maybe the survivors are still, Billy's still very new. The survivors need time to adapt to it, so we're going to have to see how it plays out down the road. But Prion, that was a beautiful performance from our Billy.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Bubbo is one of the best Billy players in the whole world, even before Billy was buffed at all. 4K2, the first result for buffed Hillbilly in the Dead by Daylight League Winter Circuit. We're going to go to a short break and see if Aeternum is able to come up with a similar result in their Billy set, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, DBDLeague fans, to the Blood Lodge for the second Hillbilly set of this game between Aeternum and Ariandel. And we've got Vlas on the Hillbilly here. He's rocking the exact same perk build, but there is a crucial difference in the add-ons carry, and that is the spiked boots.
Yeah, so he's still got the cooldown add-on, but he's got the spike boots, which is going to help his turn rate and traversal across the map. And it comes at the cost of him not having the extra speed, but he also has a quicker charge time, given he's not running the engravings. So there are a lot of differences here, and let's see how it's going to play out. He's going to be able to traverse better, but he's a little bit slower. But as we were saying a little bit before this match, does New Billy really need the speed when he gets from the engravings?
No, he's actually quite fast even without the engravings, so I'd say we're still going to see some blistering speeds here from our Hillbilly, as he's going to leave this chase with Arima and go elsewhere on the map. And the spiked boots are going to give him so much traversal power. He's going to take the M1 there onto X-Size. I mean, he's almost never going to bump when he's traversing the middle of the map to another generator. As you can see, look at that turn rate.
Yeah, the turn rate's been increased, and his collision, collision detection, I don't know how else to phrase that, has been turned down, which means he can kind of skim off rocks just a little bit better than he could do before, as you saw him going around that one there. So yeah, his traversal is going to be really, really good, and we're going to set up a curve. No, just happen to top down these pallets. Because he has a recovery, thanks to his add-on, he just closes the distance so much closer and can force a lot of M1 hits. Here we go then, vaulting the window into main. Does they have a pallet to connect to? Or they do, they have a little filler. He's going to swing and doesn't get it. It's the stun, and the blind comes in.
Yeah, really nice job there from Arima making that filler pallet, and that's going to cause Vlas to leave once again and go back to a different generator. And it looks like he's going to find chase onto Bubbo here at the top of the map. Overdrive kicks in. Bubbo now playing the filler pallet, and he's not even going to allow the chance for a curve there. Pre-drops the pallet, runs to the next pallet at the bus. Overdrive still active, but it's not going to allow him to make it to that before the pallet.
Yeah, well, he got a little bit lost there, it seemed, actually, Vlas. Eventually realised where Bubba had been heading to, and if he reads this path, he could get it down, but no, goes the wrong side of the tile in the bus, and I think Vlas is going to be heading away, knowing he's lost that chase, and has to settle, finding another survivor. Now, remember, there were 3 generators completed by Team Aeternum, so if Ariandel can match that, or, if they can do more than 3 generators, then they will be taking this first set.
Nice sprint burst coming in from Arima. He's going to dodge the overdrive and make it to the filler pallet. Immediately drops it, and I mean, Ariandel is doing an amazing job of not letting Vlas get anything started here. He keeps leaving chases with injured survivors at filler pallets. And I mean, 2 more gens pop, only 1 more for Ariandel to beat the Tycon as Arima uses the locker to dodge the hit, eats an M1. I mean, they've been playing these chases so well. This is like night and day of the last set.
Yeah, and especially because in the last set we saw at 5 generators there were 2 hook stages. This time we have no hook stages with 3 generators to go. I mean, it could be 2 generators left with just the first hook stage. Gets the M1 onto the gen. Bubbo clearly does not care. They will get the gen done no matter what. And there it goes. It pops. And now we get our first hook of the game.
Yeah, first hook of the game comes in as Bubbo eats an M1 to get the Tycon for free. Like, I mean, okay, it wasn't for free. It's for one M1, but that's completely fine for Bubbo. He does not care at all. Ariandel, 1 hook, already met the Tycon. They are shaping up to go up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, it's really promising for them. But what we do want to see is some excellent more Billy gameplay. I wish we just had 10 sets of these. But we will be moving on to Wesker if Ariandel can just complete 1 more generator. Here we go on overdrive, but Vlas is too concerned about his generators. Doesn't want to go for that chase down the edge of the map.
Yeah, Firecracker's going to come in there and an instant pre-drop of Shack Pellet as Hardwell is going to get away from the Shack. Over towards the broken truck now. Vlas going to follow with the chainsaw. He doesn't drop that filler pallet. He's going to greet it 1 more time. Now drops it. I mean, Ariandel, again, they're playing these pallets so well. Vlas not able to get anything started. Not even a single opportunity for a curve this week.
Yeah, I mean, well, you'd expect it, right? They've got 2 really big Billy mates on their team, Bubbo and Exercise, notorious with their ability with the big chainsaw, and Vlas just can't seem to catch them. Chasing now Arima, now towards a seamlessly dead zone of the map. No pallets to work with, but no generators either. He's not protecting or disrupting anything. Taking a chase over here, he gets the hook, but I wouldn't be surprised to see another gen popping very, very soon.
Yeah, and this was one of the areas that Arima had already chased in earlier, so all the pallets were gone. Perfectly fine for him to go edge map there. Second hook onto Arima. Another pop goes the Weasel is going to come up, but once again, still 4 survivors alive. So the gen pressure is going to be high from Ariandel, and they only need 1.
We're starting to see the strength of Billy though, because although there's only 1 more generator to go, he's delaying it a lot by adding so much pressure, and now he's going to go for the tunnel out. 99ing his overdrive, faster charge speed, he goes for it, lunges, but can't get it. A little bit ambitious from that distance. Can he close down the M1 with the Thompson mix? No, the cooldown is not quite good enough, but now we can see a curve towards the edge of the map. There's a pallet here and he gets stunned by it. The final gem pops, and that's the win condition met for Ariandel. They take the first set over Team Aeternum.
Yeah, and I mean, just wildly different Billy performances here between the teams. First, we saw Bubbo with the engravings just getting chainsaw down after chainsaw down. And then in this game, Ariandel just able to deny a single chainsaw down from Vlas. I'm pretty sure every single one has been M1.
Yeah, it's been a completely different game. And I think the other thing is that Bubba got his first couple downs really quickly and was then able to protect and apply pressure by zooming back and forth between the hooks. So although Vlas has the greater mobility, he wasn't able to use that by going back and forth across the map applying pressure because no one was on a hook for like 3 generators. Nothing really got done to pressure the survivors, which meant they could just whittle these gens down. Yes, Arima has died, but the rest of the survivors are looking pretty good, and we got our final Hillbilly chase for this matchup.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, what you were just mentioning with the ability to go back and forth between the hooks and exert that pressure as Hillbilly, it all comes down to how long the chases are. When the chases are this long on Survivor, Billy does not even have enough time to even think about pressuring hooks while somebody's on them. As we see Bubbo here, I mean, he's got a really nasty setup. He's got a long wall into a dumpster pallet with hope. So he's just going to continue to hold W as the doors nearby are opened, and he's going to try to get there without getting chainsawed.
I think he really wants just to take this chase a little bit more. The hope is a little bit unfortunate for Vlas. I think, yeah, Bubba's just excited to take this chase. This isn't pathing towards the door. He just wants some extra content for the DBDLeague. Rightly so. He holds W for it. Now the back row from a distance. Gets the crouch. I'm not sure the crouch really mattered in the end as he managed to swerve out the way of the chainsaw. He's going to come around to this. Can we curve around it? Are we going to see a 180? No, Vlas just 99 in the rev all the way around. Bubba with great eyes. But now here comes the 50-50. Will he go wide? He does! And he just swerves out the way of the chainsaw. And I'm going to hand over to you, Brian, as we go to this pilot.
Yeah, Bubba was just showing off his Billy chase here as he's just seemingly not even going for a door, maybe pathing towards Shaq, or is he just gonna try to flare this Billy once again? He's going back towards the broken truck now. Oh, he runs back into the killer. Another back rev opportunity coming in, and he's probably gonna go for a flare or a crouch tech. Yeah, there's the crouch tech. Absolutely painful for all the Hillbilly mains out there. Makes the window. Oh, he's gonna go down to the overdrive. Okay, so Bubbo finally pays for his sins as we see him doing nodders on the ground.
He deserves it for running hope. I mean, that's criminal in the 1v1 against the Billy, surely.
Yeah, so Bubbo's going to go up on the hook, but once again, Ariandel up 1-0 in this series after a dominant Billy performance.
Yeah, we're going to be heading on to a West set, which I don't think there's any other killer now that can provide that much just insanity all at once. I mean, maybe the Pinhead game we had from earlier in that end game, that was pretty crazy, but this was just non-stop pressure and just pure excitement all around. And I want to bring in Rats just quickly to analyze, because we saw two completely different games there. We saw one game where it was just a dominant performance from Bubbo going back and forth, but I think it highlights the clinicality of Billy. You need to be really, really on point, and if you're not, like a little bit we saw from Team Aeternum with Flass on Billy, it can really just go the other way.
I think when it comes to this one, it's more about not necessarily like the different playstyle or anything. It's just, especially from the server side point of view, it's very much just the chases, as you've mentioned already, right? But I also want to point out that the aggressive playstyle that Bobo brought when he was playing Billy himself, he brought the aggressive add-ons of the engravings and going for those curves that seemingly are so risky, and also I wouldn't say risky, but like they're very difficult to hit, especially with those engravings, but they're also the only way to get those downs quickly into the game, right? You've seen the very much different playstyle on the kill performance from Vlast, trying to not necessarily use the chainsaw as much as a downing tool, but the zoning tool and pellet shred tool, which the survivors were able to, from Ariandel, the survivors were able to utilize every single pallet on this map, apart from like maybe 2 or 3, but basically utilizing everything that they had to their advantage to prolong the first chase as long as it did, right? You've seen the first chase pop, the first chase, it wasn't just one chase, the first down happened when 3 generators have been completed, which goes to show how much pressure a killer can exert when you have somebody on the hook to camp or to proxy. Simply because then you'll have the rotations coming in from all sorts of different people running on the map, taking the resets and the unhooks, which you don't have if that's not the case, right? So we see a very different approach in also from the way that the killer play, simply because of the aggression and the add-ons they choose.
I guess my quick follow-up question for that then is, do you think it was more the play style and the add-on choice from Bulbasaur that one and that one, or more his clinicality with the chainsaw against his chases, or again the survivors? I know it's a mix of everything, but which one did you feel like was the main reason for the big difference in results we just saw?
I think the main reason was simply the add-on choice. It's a very aggressive add-on choice, right? But also that allows you to go for those curves that you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Right, fair enough. And go on, keep going if you want. I can't stop hearing enough about Billy.
I mean, we have seen like the Billy, yes, is fast without the engravings, right? But the speed, like straight up the speed of engravings and overdrive makes him so obnoxiously quick, as you've mentioned also with the backdrafts, that you cannot dodge them. It's more like a prediction on which side you may want to dodge to, because there's no going around it. He might just hit you like that. That goes also for the curves on maybe even dropped pallets that are already dropped, and then you wanna people might wanna greet them instead and end up dying that way, right? So it's a very aggressive playstyle that requires also a lot of skill from the killer player to execute. We've seen a very great showing from Bobo to run around the map, zooming, not hitting anything, down to the curves that we've seen him hit.
No, you're spot on. It does tend to be a mix of everything, but I think you're right with the engraving speed. especially at this level when survivors are very, very good at holding their distance. It really does make that difference. And you can see a lot of the times when Bubba was using his chainsaw, survivors almost had to guess kind of which way to go. And you're going to get that wrong. It is the nature of Dead by Daylight. But now we're moving on towards our Wesker set. The Billy one is in the past. We will see it later with our finale game of the day, which will be between Synapse and Rapture. That is coming up later. For now, we have Wesker, and I believe it is, it will be Aeternum starting on Wesker. And Prion, the history between, the players we have on both these teams, for Aeternum and Ariandel, do we see Ariandel taking a 2-0 kind of win, or is there a good chance that Aeternum take this one with Obii on Wesker?
Well, this is absolutely going to be Aeternum's killer pick. With Obii on Wesker, if anybody remembers, the last time we saw Obii on Wesker was probably in Hen's tournament for most of you, and he came out the gate and hug-teched somebody in his first chase. So, not surprising at all that Aeternum is going to pick Wesker. I think they have the advantage going into this set. Obii is an incredible Wesker player, and it's going to be on the survivors of Ariandel to have good chases against him and dodge out on his bounce.
Yeah. I mean, Obii is notorious for his Wesker thing, but I can't help but feel that because of the survivor performances we saw from Ariandel against Hillbilly was so strong, now they're definitely going to bring a fight to Obii, and it won't be as clean as well. But yeah, he's definitely capable of special things, and execution is going to play a big part in this. Just a reminder, if Aeternum do manage to tie this one up, we're going to go to Wraith for our final set of the day. But for now, it is going to be Wesker back on Wrecker's Yard. He is a tier 2 killer, which means we have quite a good number of perks readily available. We won't have Dead Hard, Deliverance, or Unbreakable, and a couple other pretty strong healing perks.
But survivors will be enjoying most of the exhaustion perks besides Dead Hard, as well as the Decisive Strike. So tier 2 balancing is definitely pretty balanced for the survivors.
Better get moving.
Yeah, and it looks like we are entering things. It is Obii on Wesker. We've got 4 survivors: Hardwell, Bubbo, Arima, and Excise, trying to stop Obii from, as you correctly pointed out, putting on one of his classic, spectacular Wesker performances as he heads deep into his corrupted area to start things off.
Yeah, and really confident build already coming out from Obii. He lacks the Unicorn Medallion here. Most Wesker players these days in comp are running Unicorn Medallion and Egg, but Obii on the Wesker is opting for the gloves over the Unicorn Medallion. So he's so confident in his chases that he's going to take the extra cooldown over the increased ability to play tiles. So he hasn't found anybody yet, but he did just see a crow over by the bus. First chase probably starting soon.
Yeah, it's a pretty aggressive playstyle, right? We've got Brutal Strength as well. The leather gloves, if those you don't know, gives you a 10% power recharge from your bounds. After you've executed your bounds, that power's going to come back just a little bit more quicker. And of course, the Egg, prolonging that distance, prolonging the time, I should say, all my words, between your first and second bound, and also increases the speed as you're moving between them. So Obii then finds his first one, breaks it with Brutal Strength, and now heading back towards this generator where he's found quite a few survivors.
Yeah, and that generator actually has quite a bit of progress, so these survivors very well could have out-stealthed Obii at the beginning and got on that generator pretty early. As Obie's still looking for his first hit, generators are being progressed. This is kind of a dangerous situation for the killer. And yeah, I think Arima knows what's up, just pre-dropping pallets because he knows they have gen progress already.
Yeah, the gen progress is really, really key. Sometimes a killer won't get the first chase for a while, but that's okay if the survivors are being stealthy. But these survivors are not afraid to make themselves known. Arima taking this chase as well, has the longbow pallet to work with, just delays it slightly, and it's a great spot there on Wesker coming through. Uses his life to run around through the jungle gym, and Wesker has followed the scratch marks and seems to have lost him for quite some distance here.
Yeah, really nice tile play there from Arima. He's able to use his life to get out. But now he's going to be at the 4 lane, which is significantly more dangerous. He's going to opt to leave that 4 lane and go over to a safer filler pallet.
Well, it was safer before he dropped it. Out one. Wesker breaks it right in his face. The Brutal Strength, though, could be good for him as he gets the second dash. Gets a throw as well, which is great because a little bit easier than for Wesker to follow up on the hit. Unfortunately for him, Bubbo is right there to take some crucial body blocks.
Yeah, first generator is gonna pop, and he dodges the swing there at the pallet. Very nice call out from Arima. The dash gonna come in, and oh, Bubbo gets sandbagged a little bit there at the pallet. I don't know if that was on purpose, that pallet drop.
I don't know, it's difficult to tell, but the end result is still pretty good, right, for Team Ariandel, because Arima is still alive. They're still not this first chase, and it's something that Aeternum's been struggling with. They can't get this first down quick enough. 3 generators again, just like in the Billy set, get popped for the first chase. Oh, what performance from Team Ariandel.
Yeah, first down coming in with 3 generators already done, another one at 25%, and just like you predicted, Carrie, the survivors of Ariandel putting on a show. They're stealthing in the beginning. They're getting on the gens before the killer can even find them. And then on top of that, they're having good chases. As Bubbo he's not able to spray in the killer's face there. He's gonna use his sprint burst to get to the window. Bubbo is just playing on a knife's edge here as he pre-drops the shack pallet and gets out of there. His infection is ticking up though. At any moment, he's gonna be full infection.
I mean, it seems like these survivors are having so much fun playing this one. Okay, he's fully infected now, might not be too fun for Bubbo, but they just seem to be having a whale of a time looping these killers for so long. You're getting so many gens done for it. It feels like a very chill Friday afternoon Swift session. But actually, no, this is the winter circuit. Their tournament life is on the line, but it looks like at the moment it's Aeternum who are going to be sent packing.
Yeah, and as Obii is finally going to get the infection down onto Bubbo there, I can't help but wonder if he would be having a better time using Unicorn Medallion here. I've seen so many times where his first bound just doesn't go far enough, and the survivor is able to make a corner.
Yeah, Unicorn's really good at helping you get around the tiles, making the tile loops a lot easier to play around. So I think you're spot on there. Maybe the choice of the leather gloves haven't quite happened. And gotta say, for Obii, an unusually disappointing Wesker performance.
Yep, still 2 generators to go though, so I mean Wesker is a high octane killer. He can bring this back at any moment as he's gonna get flared by Excise. Can't really fault him for that there. That was a really kind of a low reaction time bound there. He had to hit that quick if he was going to hit it at all, as Excise is gonna make this pallet hit the tile. Nice double dash there around the pallet, calls out Excise for staying on the outside of the loop, and Excise looks like he's just gonna be going to play the broken truck and probably eventually die in the corner if he can't make anything else.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see him living from this, and the bound goes through the window, which means we are going to go down towards Cop Corner, our favourite corner in Dead by Daylight League, and that's our 3rd fresh hook of the match. So, we're getting some good stages on here, a beautiful start for Ariandel, Obii clawing it back slightly with a couple good chases.
Yeah, Arima really close to finishing this gen here. If this is going to be a pain res, okay, that's pretty good momentum for Obii. We're not sure. Okay, yeah, so Ariandel very close to finishing the final gen as another one pops across the map. The one that was pain resed is going to be the final gen as Arima goes edge map, takes an M1. It's going to go towards this 4-lane now.
You know, things aren't looking good for Team Aeternum, but if something is to go Obi's way, it's the fact that this chase is happening near that almost completed gen, and you should be able to get a hook quite near it as well, or it's going to go away. And the thing is that that gen was not able to be prevented from regressing. The new 5% kind of like progression you need to get to stop a gen from going down wasn't met, so that gen got hit with pain res and has been regressing since then. So still a little bit of a way to go on the gen, and we could be looking at quite a big slug here because he knows where everyone is.
Yeah, this is a crucial moment here as he lands that double down onto Bubbo. He's going to get the down there. Excise gets off the hook, but he knows where every survivor is right now. That's why he's left Arima on the ground. He's going to trade the Bane res onto Bubbo. I guess Bubbo's first hook wasn't a pain res, and now he knows that they're trying to progress that gen in the deep corner of the map. But is he going to pick up Arima? Excise is going to have to go spray. Hardwell, the only healthy survivor here, now he's going to be in chase. Arima gets picked up.
The trouble was with picking up Arima is they already had quite a bit of wiggle progress on them, and when you drop a survivor you get even more wiggle progress, so maybe he was scared he wouldn't get the down and just kind of wouldn't get the hook and lose all kind of pressure. We don't know exactly what's going on in the mind of Obii, but that is what we can presume at least. But yeah, these chases happening around these near completed generators have been very, very good for Obii. He's getting a lot of hook stages for it, a lot of gem pressure. Pop goes the Weasel now, as well as brutal strength on the generator. This is looking quite good.
Big egg value going to come in here is, oh, he just waits a little bit too long. isn't able to get the instant endurance hit onto Bubbo with the slam, but Arima is going to go down. That's going to be a second hook onto him, and Ariandel is trading hooks near this almost completed generator. Obii doesn't have a 3-gen. The other one is all the way on the other side of the map, but we don't actually know if or how much progress is on that from Ariandel. They've been really focusing on that one in the deep corner near the hook. It's Hardwell playing that bust pallet, and Obii is going to opt to leave. He's scared about that gen that's all the way away from the other ones.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the way Ariandel have played this kind of latter half of the game. They had a really good start, but played in so many hooks, but not a lot of gem pressure. If they'd slowed it down a little bit, I know I'm not entirely sure how that will happen. If they'd slowed down the game a little bit and managed to just kind of pursue this gen here down at deep 3, it might have been a little bit better, and we could have left the game with a little less stages.
And let me just say something for the Wesker enthusiasts out there. That was so close to being a pallet drop tech from Obii. If there is a frame window where a pallet is dropped where Wesker can slide off of a dropped pallet and around it, Obii just barely missed the second dash there. That would have been a really nice clip onto Bubbo. Bubbo does eventually go down to the M1, and that is going to be his 3rd hook. So Obii really clawing this back.
That's interesting. I've got to confess, I'm not a massive Wesker enthusiast myself. I can respect the good gameplay, but I don't know all this intricacy, so thank you for explaining that one. Billy, I can do. Wesker, maybe not so much. Maybe one day, maybe one day. Anyway, it is Obii then, with an elimination and 3 survivors to go. The way this game started, I would never have expected this sort of result at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Ariandel, 2 people fully infected right now, as Obii gonna take the vault onto this broken truck pallet tile again, and there's nothing over here. It's only a matter of time before Arima's gonna go down once again, and oh no, Adrenaline's gonna come in. He's still slowed down, but nice doubling of the gens there from Hardwell and Excise, and now Obi's gonna have to scramble to get something. He's probably gonna want Hardwell the fresh hook.
Yeah. Hardwell cannot be found here. It's really important. The good news for them as well is if they do get found, they have hope. They haven't been infected yet. So if they can survive long enough for their teammates to get some of the doors done, oh my goodness, they're so close to being found, but they just about stealth it out. They should be good. If their teammates can open the doors for them, then they can just sprint to the exit gate, and they're a very valuable one to get out. If there's anyone we're going to see going down here, it should be Arima, who only has 1 stage left.
Yeah, crazy stealth there from Hardwell. I mean, you wouldn't think that the Alan Wake with the plaid shirt is going to be particularly camouflaged on this map, as a grab is going to come in onto Excise. That's going to be 2 extra stages for Obii. And all things considered, this is going to be a pretty balanced result for both sides. I think we were certainly thinking that this was going to be an incredible Survivor result, but Obii managed to get a little bit of a snowball going and pull this result back in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, DBD is a game of 2 halves. We saw a little bit earlier in the day. You can have a great start, but you've got to be able to carry that momentum and keep it clinical, keep it neat. I'm afraid the team Ariandel, for me, just didn't quite do that, and maybe we can bring in Rats to break that one down a little bit more. I personally felt that they were very aggressive around that unhook, gave Obii a lot of pain resonance, a lot of pressure on that gen they almost had completed, and for me, they hadn't quite prioritized the gen down at deep 3 all that much. Rats, let's bring you in and see what your take on the second half of that game was.
Yes, you summarized that really well already. That's pretty much what has happened. They've played really aggressive and it worked out. They have been, also as you've casted already, they don't care that a killer knows where they're at, because they know that they can all hold a chase and just keep the chases away from the generators that they are working on, and keep the chases long enough for the gens to pop, which has happened. The first down happened, 3 generators have been completed. However, yes, you've mentioned it also already, at the end the comp corner just wasn't good enough. The comp corner was a bit too close to the corner that the other generator, the last one, was being worked on, and then generator then ate a pain resonance, and later on also another pop goes to weasel, another pain resonance, and another pop goes to weasel, slowing it down, regressing it all the way to like 30-40% when it was like 95. And as you've also already correctly analyzed, that was pretty much the reason why Obii was able to prolong this game for so long because of simply the overcommitment of that generator. If they just decided to give that generator up, maybe even give him the second hook stage on the person that was hooked, since I just kind of disagree with the trade, since that will just give him another pain resonance and pop, right? Like the trade. If they just let him hit second stage and work the other generator across the map, they won't have to deal with that pain resonance, they won't have to deal with another pop goes the weasel, and they will just frankly not deal with all that slowdown that they were dealing with because of it. And they also gave him quite a few injuries out of that. However, good recovery. They didn't just completely throw it away there. That could have also resulted in a 4K if they did manage to give him more than just the hook, the slug, and then somebody else traded on the hook. That could have turned out a lot worse than it actually did. So nice recovery, and 7 stages, 3 fresh hooks is still, all things considered, a respectable result for both sides. So definitely still winnable for Aeternum, and if they wanna win this, they'll have to perform now on the survivor side against Bobo.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. They need to really pull one out of the bag here. Thinking about that kind of, I guess, blunder we could call from Team Ariandel. Is there any? It's a tough question. Why do you think that happened? Was it like a mental thing, or was there anything else they were trying to like get done? Did they have another idea in mind for when they were going for those aggressive trades? What were they thinking essentially? And I know that's a tough question.
If you think about it that way, it's more like the generator was really far, and you'd be like, okay, we can play really aggressively. That gen will pop, and then we can just like, it doesn't matter if we go down because we have those adrenaline. We will be able to hold that chase, right? We won't go down immediately and give him more slowdown. And then you underestimate the killer's ability to punish you for doing that, and you might underestimate the slowdown that the pain rest and the pop give you. And if you end up in a position like this, you kind of need everybody to recover that situation. That's why everybody was there, right? Nobody was on the other side working that isolated generator across the map, because they needed everybody to recover the situation they were in. So that was like the kind of slowdown that came from it. Not only that the generator was regressing, but also that nobody was able to rotate away from it because they needed everybody there. And resolving from that situation is kind of like, I guess, just underestimated the opponent there, maybe.
Fair enough. I mean, it can happen in these things, in these high pressure situations. Remember, this is losers bracket of the winter circuit. One team is we're going to be saying goodbye to one of these phenomenal teams. 2 really big sets of high caliber players. And Prion, we're heading into the second half of the West cassette. It is 8 stages with 3 fresh hooks. That is the win condition set. All 5 generators being completed. How likely is it that Team Aeternum take us to a game 3 raid set?
I would say that it's less than 50% likely here, as it all comes down to how Bubbo is going to play on the Mastermind here. And really interesting, no Unicorn Medallion once again, and he's actually got the video conference device add-on, which some people would say is the tunneling add-on, as Dunder, playing this 4-lane really well, he is eventually going to go, no, he's going to get the pallet, immediately vaults it again. He's just winning all the 50-50s on this 4-lane. I cursed him a little bit. He's eventually going to go down, as anybody would at a 4-lane tile like that. But first down onto Dunder, and like I said before, the video conference device, people would call it the tunneling add-on because it increases the passive infection gain by quite a bit on an infected survivor. So, Bubbo here, definitely going to be going for a tunnel out if he chose to bring that add-on.
Yeah, it's not an add-on we typically see in DBDLeague, but definitely very valid. It has its uses. But yeah, quick chase from Dunder. He did very, very well to stall that one out on the 4-lane. Got a little bit of gen progress. Unfortunately, it's going to negate a little bit by pain resistance and pop goes the weasel. But if they can get rid of that pain resistance early, they should have quite a good second half of the game. Remember, as we saw in the first game, this game, Dead by Daylight, is a game of 2 halves. And I've said game way too much, so I'm going to hand things back to you, Prion.
Yeah, so like, really fast unhook there from Spitz, and I think this is going to be playing right into Bubbo's game plan here. He's going to be very happy that Spitz went for this unhook, because of that add-on, Dunder is going to get fully infected almost 20 seconds faster than he usually would.
Yeah, and that's going to apply the 8% hindered penalty. If it could build up to max, I mean, he's already injured, so an M1 will down him, and he goes down pretty well. You're right, the tunneling add-on does seem to be Bubbo's plan. He's got 2 quick downs on Dunder. Nothing really been done to prevent it too much. We've got 1 generator popping. Oh, it's looking rough for Team Aeternum, and their tournament life is on the line here.
Yeah, Dunder's on death hook with 4 gens remaining, and we have to see these chases getting taken to better areas. Like, he dies at the split bus and the 4 lane. We need to see a shack pellet dropped if Dunder is going to be in danger of getting tunneled here. We need to see jungle gyms being used, but we're just, we're dying at 50-50 pallets here. And now another bound is going to come in onto Daimao. Is he going to go for a trade? No, he's going to run away from the hook. I mean, Bubbo is content to proxy this hook, and he knows that as soon as they unhook Dunder, he can just tunnel him again with the video conference device add-on. So really good spot for Bubbo.
Yeah, and that chase from Daimao really didn't achieve anything at all. I mean, it was around the hook, which means no one else could really come in for a save. Bubba's got a lot of pressure there. Dunder is going to be eliminated from this trial. I can't see anyone else coming in. Realistically, they're going to be going for resets, and Dunder is going to be out. It's going to be 3 survivors with 4 generators to go. This is such a tough time for Team Aeternum. But, you know, they've got plenty of space to bring it back. Dunder's chases didn't really use up any valuable resources. They've got 1 gen done for Dunder's death. It is possible. It is possible.
Yeah, you don't usually want to be that guy as a caster, but this is going to be incredibly difficult for Aeternum to bring back. Their win condition is to actually get quite a few stages out the door. So with somebody just straight up dying at 3 gens, they can't give any more downs here, or Pop Pain Rise is going to prevent them from doing any generators whatsoever.
Yeah, this needs to be a long chase from Daimao. He's really got to step up for his team in these big moments. Runs straight through the pallet of the short wall, takes the vault, and he's got life. This is going to be big to get a lot of distance. Bubba goes for an aggressive double lunge, doesn't get it, and now backs off. So a good chase there from Daimao, buys his team some good time, and now Silhey has got to replicate what Daimao has just done as he goes off the small edge of the hill so it doesn't take too much of a stagger.
It looks like Bubbo is going to opt to leave. He's going to go back to where he just saw Daimao spraying. He wants to take the chase onto the injured survivor, get the quickest chase he possibly can. And I mean, from Aeternum survivors here, every chase needs to be perfect or their tournament life will be over.
Yeah, and we're seeing here is a really nice setup for Daimao. They could have vaulted into that window, but didn't want to quite zone themselves. So now goes back towards the short wall, and this chase could be really long and could be just what Team Aeternum needs. Now he's going to head towards the unique TNL setup. The double bound coming in, threatening. How long is he going to hold it with the edge? Dodges around it and gets the pallet down. This could be big if he turns it into a longer chase. Now, what kind of mind game is Bubba going to be playing? Shows the red stain, bolts again, and gets away with it. Resilience value coming in clutch there.
Really good check spots there at the varying tile from Daimao. But oh, he's gonna not take the window, and Bubbo gets the double dash onto him there. And he's going to carry him closer to a generator that he thinks is being worked. That's gonna be another pain resonance. And these regressions are going to be that much more brutal when a survivor is already dead.
Yeah, it was a really good effort from Daimao. Unfortunately, with 1 health state, it was just too tall an order to ask. That pain res really sucks for Team Aeternum. If they could have got, 2 gens done for that chase, that would have been monster, and we could have been into a really interesting endgame. Unfortunately, Bubba now has his hand firmly around the something like that. Is a terrible analogy.
Yeah, Bubbo here, he's going to be leaving and trying to find a generator to place that. Pop goes the weasel on. He finds somebody working the gen at the bus. Daimao is going to get unhooked across the map, but I think Bubbo here, he's not going to care about any more tunnel outs. He knows that he can just take whatever chase he wants, and as long as he ends them fast, he gets the nice throw onto Silhey there. As long as he ends these chases fast, this game is his.
Yeah, he's just going to be clinical now and finishing this one off, and it looks like he will be. Bongs off the window. He can't believe it, shaking his head back and forth, and it gives Silhey a little bit of distance to run towards this edge filler pallet. But with 1, I don't know what's happened. Has he grabbed him? No, he hasn't. He gets completely blinded as he dashed towards Silhey with a beautifully timed firecracker. Blinded me, and now has a pretty weak edge filler pallet to work with and gets down for it.
Yeah, he's going to lose the 50-50 there at the edge map tile, and for those of you at home that don't know what happened there, Wesker is one of the only killers that can still be blinded out of his power while it's active. So really nice firecracker there from Silhey, But unfortunately, they're going to need like 20 more plays like that if they're going to take this win.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they don't have 20 more firecrackers to make that one happen. Just a beamer. Onto this will make it though, which means if Dymo brings out another chase, they can get a reset in and possibly crack out a couple more gens as the pain resonance has been used mostly. Stands next to the window, doesn't allow Berserker to bolt through it, gets slammed instead, and now with just one dash, this is going to be tricky. And a lot of the big resources have now been used. Gonna head down towards 3. Got a 4 here, not the best thing to work with in the world. The tiles haven't been beautiful for Team Aeternum, and Dymo dodges nicely, and now can have this pallet to play with. Does eventually bolt, has life, but doesn't use it just for now. Waits on a little bit, possibly playing mind games there with the speed boost you get from it, and has the edge of that tower to work with.
Yeah, really good pathing and check spots here from Dymo so far. He's going to get to the pallet at the edge map filler, but can he get away from this pallet? I don't think Bubbo is going to want to break this. So given that it's a 50-50 pallet, he is going to go down. Fully infected again, thanks to the video conference device. So another down is going to come in for Bubbo. And every down is, once again, so much more painful because of that fast tunnel out.
Yeah, and also he's going to be getting popped as the weasel. So these gens, these guys have been working so hard to do, thanks to the chases of their teammates, just get absolutely obliterated. We do have still A here for a time. Yeah, there goes Pop Goes the Weasel on the other far progressed generator, and there are just sparks flying from every single one of these left standing. It's really difficult now for Team Aeternum to stay in the winter circuit.
Yeah, Bubbo is rapidly approaching his win condition here. As we see Spitz really close on a gen, but he gets the nice double dash around that filler pallet. And that's going to be the death onto Dymo. 2 survivors remaining with 3, maybe 2 generators to go. As Spitz will probably finish his gen off in the distance. But I think this is all but over, and Ariandel is going to take this series 2-0.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if he gets it down to Spitz here, there'll be 8 hook stages with 4 fresh hooks, which means you already win. You don't even need that 9th hook stage. Yeah, so it could be a masterful 2v1. This could go down in the history books, but we're going to presume that this won't be happening, and Team Ariandel will be progressing to the next stage, or the next bit of the losers bracket for the winter circuit. 2 really strong teams, unfortunate being drawn against each other, you know, this early on in the tournament, in the losers bracket of all things. So many upsets have been happening in this tournament. If you haven't been up to date, you can watch all the VODs on Twitch and on YouTube for that matter. But yeah, it's been a fantastic tournament, so many upsets, hence why we see these 2 teams here in the losers bracket so early.
Yeah, there have been so many good losers bracket games so far. And one thing that I just can't stop thinking about is that Shack Pallet is still up after all this time. After the 2 tunnel outs as well, Shack Pallet still has not been dropped. So Spitz now hopefully going to be using that Shack Pallet, and he's just kind of staring through the window at Bubbo there. After that missed swing, he's going to come back and drop the Shack Pallet. Bubbo finally going to break it with Brutal Strength.
Yeah, we're just kind of, it feels like we're prolonging the inevitable here. Still getting back on the gen. He's been on that gen, must have done so much progress on it. It's just unfortunately been hammered by Pop Goes the Weasel and Pain Resonance. I just want to double check the win conditions. Yes, it was 8 hooks with 3 fresh hooks.
Yeah, so in order to win this game here, survivors need to finish 2 more generators and not give up a single hook stage to the Mastermind. So every chase here could be the last one, as Silhey is going to get thrown edge map. Bolts the pallet, I guess resigning himself to his fate in the comp corner as he plays this 50-50 pallet against Bubbo. Bubbo not going to break this. He knows it's eventually going to be a down no matter what. Lyth was already seen on Dymo, and that is going to be the down. Silhey goes down. That's going to be another hook. And while this one might not actually be the win condition, there's only 1 survivor up. Even if he needs another one after this, he could just face camp Silhey to death.
Yeah, unfortunately for the survivors, but this isn't Bubbo's first game of Dead by Daylight, probably his 10,000th. And yeah, there's absolutely no chance Aeternum do take this one. So maybe it's a nice time here to bring in Rats while this kind of end game is playing out a little bit, to kind of discuss what went wrong for Team Aeternum. I mean, they had a pretty bad start and they weren't able to quite claw it back. Silhey does die on hook. We're going to Vault Shack and possibly get a hatch down off, and then we're going to go to the corner. So while this is happening in the background, Rats, what went wrong for Team Aeternum in this
I mean, it's just like confidence in chases. You could summarize that together. I mean, it's simply like, if you look at the statistics or like the numbers, simple numbers of first down and 3 generators completed versus first down and on 5 gens. So we've seen on the Billy game how punishing it is if the killer is able to have somebody on the hook and proxy something, or just simply have somebody hooked that's not working on the generator, because that requires people to rotate for saves and stuff. And if you have a win condition where you have to basically escape with a lot of stages and you need to pop those generators, it's required to kind of like have those chases as well to make up for it.
Fair enough, and thank you again, Rats, for being the producer and the analysis. You've gone overtime there for us today, so thank you very much. And with that, it is Ariandel taking it 2-0 versus Team Aeternum.